All right, Ricardo, welcome back to Mediation.
Thank you. It's time to
How are you?
calm down.
How are you feeling?
Much better.
All right. So, again, there were just a lot of emotions coming up in setting the agenda. I noticed you expressed a lot of concerns, so I think it would be beneficial to touch base on each of the items that we have set so we can focus on what you think possible solutions are, and maybe we can bring them forward as a larger group.
Okay, sounds good.
All right. So, as far as first on the agenda is location. So, as far as that, are you willing to have parties somewhere else, or do you want? What are your thoughts on that?
I don't know where else we would have a party, so.
Okay. So maybe.
Unless she's gonna fork over the cash for a hall or something, which doesn't make any sense.
Okay. So your concerns are financial reasons for having the parties here.
Yes.
Okay.
And again, accommodations.
Okay. If both of you did some research and found a cheaper location, would you be willing to have it there?
I guess, but the whole point of holiday party is to be, in someone's home and be with family and together, and I just don't see it being cheaper going anywhere else, and safety. So it's kind of hard to come up with an alternative for that one, I guess. Because just there's no other family member who has a house big enough to kind of accommodate for the holiday parties.
Right.
But I suppose we can squeeze into, my brother's house if we had to. I guess every once in a while.
Okay, so I'm hearing you say just maybe a possibility would be your brother's house.
Maybe, yes.
But your overall concern is still the safety of your family and the financial burden that would place.
Yes, and then everybody has room here again to sleep over, and it's just safer to stay, and just makes sense. I don't know.
Okay. Alright, so are you okay moving on to the second topic?
Yes.
Alright, so that would be preparation, the delegation of tasks and organization. I remember you had expressed concern on you feel that you were doing your part, but maybe Grace wasn't looking at it that way. Do you want to elaborate on that?
Yes. So, it's just, I understand she does, most of the preparation for the food and the cooking, but, she's cooks. I don't cook, so she always wants to partake in the menu and choosing and picking of it. So I always then take care of, the other items and make sure we have enough drinks and sodas and ice and, all the heavy lifting and, the garbage bags and getting everybody together and, coordinate the parking, who's going to sleep over, and, all the things that she's just not noticing that, they don't just get taken care of by themselves. And then, last minute she's always, having to send me off to the store to buy, items that now all of a sudden she wants to incorporate that, and I get it, you gotta be flexible sometimes, but, something not so, like another, full course meal, last minute to try to go and accommodate.
Okay, so, again, what I'm hearing you say is you are just looking for more organization, and maybe more planning ahead of time instead of last minute additions.
Yes, absolutely.
And then so
she's just such a Scrooge sometimes. It's like it's the holidays. Hello, it's just, supposed to be jolly. Anyways, go ahead.
Insults are not helpful.
Sorry.
To the mediation process.
Well, humbug. It's like,
All right. So going along with that, well, maybe again going on with just like more communication. I feel with your expression of concern of last minute errands, maybe like sticking to the plan Is that fair?
Yes, she's just so indecisive sometimes.
Okay. So then, so better communication, and then like whatever resolution or whatever plan you both make,
You just stick
following
to
to it. Okay.
Exactly. Yeah, she's in finance. You should get it. Little structure is not a bad thing.
Structure is a good word, so you just want more. I think it's a better word. So just more
Exactly.
structure
Yes.
for the parties.
Absolutely.
All right. Second item, or third item would be the family. Well, hold on. Sorry. What would you be willing to put forth as far as this communication and like providing the structure for the plan or for the party?
Just talk about it and agree on, what the menu's gonna look like. What she wants as decorations. I mean, I usually don't have pretty flexible that way. I really don't care what the food, items is. She's a good cook. We love her food. That's why we're still married. If it wasn't for that. But, the decorations and things that, where she's always buying extra stuff every year. She gotta go buy a little something different, which is, I'm okay. And that's the other thing. I'm the one stuck putting up the 12-foot Christmas tree. Everybody says they're gonna help out with the trees and putting the ornaments, but guess who's the one pulling out the ladder and putting all the ornaments up there and then going outside and putting up all the lights, and then, she needs like 10 feet more of lights, and then, well, they don't just go up by themselves. Anyway, sorry, we're not on a tangent there.
Sorry.
So,
Okay.
yes, so where were we?
All right. So what I'm hearing you say is
Yes, the structure.
Okay.
So she just sticks to the menu, or at the very least, they have an idea of what we're going to get, then we can buy most of the stuff together. We can go off of a checklist and say, hey, okay, this is what we grant, this is what we want to get, yes, okay. And then we can go out and buy most of the items that she needs. Which would probably only help her out anyways, because she has everything that she's going to need to prepare for the meal.
So would you be willing to, how in your eyes would best execute like a more structured party? Like what exactly do you want from her? Like
I just tell her what to do and she does it. Right?
Well, that's not
I know that's not going to happen. But we're not be a perfect world. So why don't we just then say, okay, it's time to plan out the party and the menu and have kind of like this an agenda of what we need to discuss and then agree on each item and then move on from there. Like I said, I think that would work fine since I don't usually have strong feelings about what the menu needs to be or things of that sort, right? I don't get that granular.
All right, so you would be willing to create your own agenda for the parties and then create like a party plan and a written document. Is that what you're looking for?
If we have to, yes. It takes the fun out of the holidays, but I would be willing to sacrifice my time and feelings for that.
Also, how far in advance do you want this to be done?
As much time as she needs to make up her mind on everything.
So you would, whatever you say is you would just be willing to defer that to her. So whenever
Yes.
she is ready to talk about it.
Just let me know and I will make time.
Okay. Alright. And are you willing to help out in any way that she asks you to?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, like I said, I think I already do enough, but obviously, she doesn't feel the same way. So if there's something specifically or particular that she wants or needs help with, we can talk about it, and then, if it's reasonable, we can certainly come to an agreement that way.
So just more specific task delegation, so you know exactly what you have to do.
Exactly. So he doesn't help, right? Because then I don't know what I'm not helping out.
Okay, so you just want more specifics and like concrete tasks.
Correct.
Okay. All right. Next item was family guidelines. So I believe this was under the topic of the cleanliness of the house, supervision of the children.
Ah, yes.
So how How do you feel about that?
I don't know what I could do there. I mean, they're kids, right? Let them have fun. That's what all the holidays about. I suppose I could, talk to my brothers and sisters and maybe mention something about, watching the kids, or I don't know how I would word it so it wouldn't sound insulting or negative, or I don't know, because we never had to deal with that or have this conversation. So maybe that's something you could.
I don't know if it's so funny.
Yeah, there we go.
Okay, I can edit that out. It's fine.
Maybe that's something that you could help us put into words.
Okay. So more communication, or you'd be willing to put forth more communication with your family on rules for the house. Is that correct? Okay.
Yes, if that's what it's going to take to, move past this, I could talk to, them. And so I can't make any promises, right, that, the kids are going to be well behaved now, but at least, I could do something to try to help out with that.
What about family participation, like more involvement from your side?
Well, we're the ones throwing the party, right? I mean, what am I going to do? Invite everybody and then tell them to come and decorate and cook for it? It's, I'm already telling them to kind of, watch the kids or whatever. Again, it would help if I had specifics, if I knew exactly what that meant. Then maybe we can figure out what to do.
Right. So what I hear you say is, you feel it's just your role as a host to handle everything, but if you had specific tasks, you would be willing to maybe delegate some of those.
Yes,
to your
if they're
family?
reasonable, absolutely, yes.
All right. Okay. So, time management of parties. So the length of the parties. What are your thoughts on that?
It's a party. Let's just let us have fun. I'm not gonna kick anybody out. Then I'd rather just not have the party here if I'm gonna have to do that. One, it's not safe. I'd rather have everybody here. Two, the next morning we all get up, we have breakfast. Right, we're still kind of, chit-chatting and talking about the night before. The kids, everybody's got to try to lug the kids off at, past midnight. It's just not, I don't know, conducive. And we have the space. So maybe instead of, maybe we can just try to cut off at a certain time, I guess, instead of, just not having people sleep over.
All right. So what's...
Does that make sense?
Yes.
What would be a reasonable time?
Yeah, what's
5 a.m., It's like, let's party. No.
That's the earliest you're willing to cut the party short?
Well, it's like about a 10-minute cause. Everybody's, say Merry Christmas or Happy New Year. Everybody's start talking, having a good time, we're dancing. I don't know. It's hard to put a time on that when, I guess it would be like case by case, but I guess a reasonable time would be more like, I don't know, when the bars close, 2 or 3 a.m.
Okay.
It's just that you don't know my brother. You don't understand my brothers and my sisters, and it's just the way they party.
Okay, so just to summarize what we have so far, you feel that the parties should be here because it's just financially more feasible, more responsible,
Yes.
or easier. Also, the safety aspect of your family, that also translated into the length of the party. You're concerned about their safety going home late.
Correct.
All right. Also, the time management. You feel that parties are just an enjoyable experience, so it's hard to place a time cap.
Right. How do you,
Okay.
It's like putting a price on fun. How do you do that?
You're looking for better communication between you and Grace, more specific delegation of tasks. You want a written or just a spoken word agreement on the menu, the plan for the party, and then as early as Grace is willing to talk about those things, or as soon as she comes up with certain things. And then for more help, you are willing to do more of what Grace asked, as well as having those specifics delegate those tasks to your family.
Yes, well, yes, I think I could, if we had some kind of plan before and we knew what to get more prepared, it would help, on the stress level. And, I'm not going to ask my family to just, help clean up after the party, but I will be willing to, help out more and maybe, figure out a way to not leave such a mess before everybody leaves.
Okay. So next item on the agenda was the supervision of party, but would you agree that we kind of touched on that with you communicating to your family
Yes.
set guidelines? Is there anything else you have to say about the supervision of the party or the house?
No, like I said, not making any promises, but I can talk to my family about, watching their kids.
Okay. And then the last item on the agenda was following precedent. So again, just you would rather stick to what has already been done in the past, or
at least not change your mind last minute, right? It's all about the timing of it with me on that one. It's not that you just can't change your mind. It's just not last minute when stores are empty, everybody's trying to shop last minute, and I'm out there in 3 feet of snow. That I got to shovel out the driveway, right? That's the other thing nobody sees, right? Snow just doesn't melt, So I got to go out there and shovel it and get everybody in and out and get the trucks out so that we can go buy all this stuff that we need for the holidays.
So what I'm hearing you say is now you feel that there's no recognition for
No respect
for things that you do before the party as
right.
well. And as far as following precedent, what would you consider a cutoff for when a change can be made to the plan that you guys have come up with?
I don't know. 3 to 5 days, I guess. It's no sooner than 3, but the more notice, the better.
All right.
Yeah.
And so let's say Grace did have a last minute addition. Is that like an automatic no-go?
Well, it depends on the severity of the change, right? If it's
Okay.
a minor change, okay. But, we're trying to change the menu or it's sending me to go get something that she forgot, some special cheese that I got to go down to the city for now in snowstorm, right? It's just not conducive.
Okay. So to summarize those, the length of the party to avoid an extended period of stay, you would be willing to, depending on the holiday, cut it off at 2 to 3 in the morning.
Or sooner, right? I mean, like I said, I don't want to just
Okay.
tell everybody, all right, it's 2 o'clock, everybody's got to go to sleep now. I mean, we're not
Or do you mean later?
adolescents.
Or
I'm sorry, what?
do you mean later?
I'm not, I don't want to say 2 o'clock is the cutoff because, we might be having fun.
Okay, so yeah, so you would,
Right.
so just as maybe, not a strict enforcement, but maybe a general.
Yeah, maybe we can see that day and see how everybody is, and then that day we can be like, hey, if we can just say, all right, another hour or 2 and then it's off, that would work out better instead of just saying, because then we're spending all night just saying, all right, 2 o'clock, the party's going to be over. Kind of takes the fun out of.
Okay. So again, just your concern is just want it to be enjoyable and accommodating to everyone.
Right. Maybe during the party we can say, hey, as things start winding down or something, you're gonna be like, all right, just a couple more hours, and then we're gonna call it quits, and then kind of like a last call,
Okay.
And just be like, all right, last call is gonna be in 2 hours or hour and a half, or not make it that formal of an announcement. But then I think that would help. Kind of everybody start winding down, and then say, all right, cool, we had fun, as opposed to just be like, all right, 2 o'clock, this party's over. It's not like we're a business here.
All right. So, is there anything else you want to talk about or add? Do you feel we hit everything on the agenda?
Yes, I believe we hit everything that I had brought up. Thank you.
Okay. Are you comfortable what are you comfortable bringing back as a joint session? All of it, none of it, parts of it.
What did she say?
Our caucus is separate from my caucus with Grace.
Okay.
Therefore, what you choose to, again, what you just said to me is completely confidential. So it's completely up to you what you are willing to share.
Well, we're here to try to resolve this, so in good faith, I don't think I said anything that I wouldn't want her after here.
Okay. So you're willing to bring it all back?
Yes.
All right. In that case, I will go get Grace, and we can hopefully make some resolutions.
Thank you very much.
I forgot something.
Of course you did.
Stop the thing.
Nope, just keep going. It's part of it.
No.
See what I got to deal with?
It's not the
You understand?
thing. Sorry about that. No, it's gonna be harder to edit. I'm
No,
sorry.
that's part
No.
of it. It's like realistic.
It's gonna be so hard to edit.